Take a moment right here, feeling like it's out gear, driving towards the sun with a rose and a gun.
Alright, hope everybody's having a good one. Welcome to Microsoft Flight Simulator with Cookie Pirate. Today, we're flying in new places. We're going from Ithaca, New York, up to Lake Placid in the Adirondacks in the Cirrus SR22. We're going at, I think, 13,000 feet. Maybe 15,000, but we'll make that decision once we get airborne higher up. 153 miles. It's going to be right about a 50-minute flight. Climb aboard, let's go flying. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. Alright, we're loaded in. Ready to fly. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Battery switches. Oh, come on. Turn the first battery switch on and turn it off immediately. I tried to move the mouse over and it caught onto that. Alright, both battery switches are on now. The way it should be. Alright, couple quick configurations, the CDI to GPS. Altimeter's already set. Let's grab the weather real quick. 55, okay, so it'll update in probably 20 minutes, but we'll be airborne by then. 030 at 5. 10 miles visibility, scattered clouds at 4,300. 23 Celsius to 73 Fahrenheit. Absolutely beautiful weather. And 30.28, that checks out. Alright. We're gonna start with the altitude set to 13,000. For a 50-minute flight, we'd usually go up to like 17 or 19 or 21 or something like that. But I want to go a little lower just to get a really nice view of the scenery. FLC will set to 110. There we go. VNAV on, nav on. We go ahead and get the engine started here. Excuse me. Boost pump on, mixture. The mixture starts at full rich. I thought it should be starting at idle cutoff. Either way. Alright, that's good. Let's go ahead and crank the ignition. Left. Get out of the way. I don't want to hit you. Of course, they don't render collisions in this game. People do that. That hangar does, so we're going to have to make a pretty sharp turn to the left to clear it. But we're clear left, clear ahead, clear right. Let's turn the lights on first. Nav, strobe. Clear! Alright, oil pressure's immediately into the green. Temperature is just sitting there. Oh, no, there, okay, there it goes. Starting to rise. Now we'll turn the alternator switches on. Battery amperage is positive, that's good. We can turn the avionics on. Alright, we're going to make a sharp turn to the left to avoid that hangar there. Oh. Thinking we might have wanted to get a pushback, but I think we'll make it okay. We'll just have to be careful. Kind of on the brakes, a real sharp turn. If we do hit the wingtip into the side of either of these hangars, it will render a collision. We'll have to restart. but I'm pretty sure I can do it without hitting it. Sure hope. Obviously, in the real world, we wouldn't take a chance. We could push the plane back before the engine started. You don't need a tug or anything to do that. Alright, everything looks good. Let's go ahead and release the parking brake, and just going full left rudder. Inch forward very gently. And we're kind of just barely touching the brakes. Oh, dude! It's a good thing that does not trigger any sort of a collision. And the dynamic objects are invulnerable. Pretty airport, it's small. I am familiar with this area, actually. I've been to Ithaca many times. Finger Lakes are absolutely gorgeous. Alright, the wind is 030, so it is a direct crosswind. We could take either runway, and the interesting thing is it's going to be a turn about 90 degrees to get onto course. Either way. So I think we're going to go to 3-2. I think the view is going to be a little better on takeoff that way. Alright, so let's clear left, ahead, and right. We're going to taxi down to 3-2, so we're going to turn right here. Just a nice slow 20-knot taxi. We can actually go back to idle power and just roll. It's hilly over here, it's lush. Ithaca is known for gorges. There's a saying, Ithaca is gorgeous. Gorgeous, and then gorges like waterfalls and sort of, not really canyons, but it's really pretty. And then you have the Finger Lakes. You're right on Cayuga Lake. And the Finger Lakes actually have some really good vineyards, so if you like wine and grapes and all that good stuff, this is a good area for it. Bump the engine up just a touch. We're actually slowing down, down to 17, it's not bad. Just want to maintain that speed a little bit there. We could take that intersection, but we're just going to go the full length. The Adirondacks are absolutely gorgeous, though. And I wasn't really sure where I wanted to fly today, but I figured it would be a good opportunity to try a new place. I'm going to taxi up to the hold bar here. We'll set the parking brake. Real quick look out of the cockpit. Rudder's good. Elevator's good. Ailerons are good. Set flaps half. Good. Back into the cockpit. Quick run up, mixture's full rich, boost pump is on. Let's run the engine up to 1700 RPMs. I thought about doing this flight in the X-Cub, but that would be a little long. It was looking like an hour and 25 minutes in that plane. It'll be about 50 in this. Okay. Mag check first. So we'll go to the right. It's a good drop. Back to both. To the left. Also a good drop. Back to both. Engine instruments all look good. There are no warnings, alerts, anything like that. We'll go back to idle power. And it's looking pretty good. I Love Planes, welcome. How are ya? Alright. Before we taxi out onto the runway, let's turn the landing light on. Maybe zoom in on the map just a little bit here for a moment. Runway heading is going to be about that. think we're good. Release the park and brake. Throttle up. Good, made it home with 1,000,000 itchy bug bites. Ugh, that sucks. Oh, we got that heading perfect. Alright, here we go. Oh, you know what? One thing real quick. Let's just turn that on so we fly out runway heading first before we turn on the nav course. Now we're good. Full power. Engine instruments look good. Airspeed is alive. 77 knots. We'll lift off. Oh. Beautiful. Yes, a New York flight decided to try a new place today. I didn't see the elevation. I think it's about 1,000 feet. So at 1,800, we'll go ahead and turn on course. Take a look at that. Cayuga Lake right there. Absolutely beautiful. And that's the city of Ithaca right over there. Wow. Alright. I turn on course. Oh, and you know what? Since we're just turning manually, we don't even need to have that. So let's turn that off. Make sure nav is on. We're good there. Flaps up. Waited a little bit late to bring those up. That's okay, though. And we can turn the autopilot on.
Engaging autopilot.
Hold on. Don't descend. Why is that? Alright, override that. We picked up a lot of speed. Let's pitch up. Let that speed come down. Oh, the FLC shut off. Why?
Engaging autopilot.
Alright, now we'll let it take over. Now we're good. This is more central, I think. It's, upstate. Ithaca, like, in the center. Probably a little more toward the west, but Finger Lakes are west to central. Alright. I think we'll just do a full power climb. Let's take a look at the map. Oh yeah, we're like in the middle of the state here. So, our route today, where we're going, this is Ithaca, this is Cayuga Lake right here. We're going up just a little south of Syracuse, a little west of Utica, and we're going up into the Adirondacks and over all of these lakes, which I'm not super well familiar with, but I know of them. I've been up there a couple times, and Lake Placid's going to be pretty far up. Not quite to the top of the state, but pretty high up. For reference, New York City is way down here at the bottom, and by the coast. You go straight up, Poughkeepsie, Stewart, Albany, Glen Falls, I think that is there. Saratoga's somewhere down here. And then Plattsburgh, almost all the way at the top of the state, is going to be a little past us. Should be a pretty flight, though. Got a view out of the cockpit quick. Yeah, some nice hills and stuff like that. A lot of farms, a lot of forests. Look back over here. This is where we took off. This is the city of Ithaca. Over here. And there's a river or a canal or something that runs through there. This is the southern end of Cayuga Lake. And the northern end is obscured by clouds. If you look further to the southwest, out that way would be like Elmira and then the Pennsylvania border. Out over this way, I think, is Binghamton and then the Pennsylvania border a little bit further down. Syracuse, I think, would be up here. It's also blocked by clouds. So this is Cayuga Lake. If you look right behind, you can just see a trace of it before it also gets blocked by clouds. This is Seneca Lake back here. Watkins Glen. Watkins Glen has a road course, like a racetrack. It's kind of cool. Smaller than Ithaca. We'll go back into the cockpit here. Pitot heat required. Alright, let's go ahead and turn that on. We can turn the landing light off. We're going to reach 13,000 pretty quick. No need to lean the mixture out or adjust the power. I mean, we could do that and just leave it set. Let's just go ahead and do it. So we're going to pull the power back down to 30.5. Oh, perfect. Well, a tad bit below now. And we're going to lean the mixture down to the bottom of the... What? Hold on. Back to 30.5. It should. I don't know why it isn't, but it should have that bar with the green, or with the blue line for peak. I don't know what's going on with that, but we'll just leave that set for now. And we'll lean the mixture down to the bottom of the green. I don't understand how Albany is New York's capital and not NYC. I don't either. I'm not sure. I can't answer that. Albany's only like the 4th or 5th largest city in the state, I think. But you have a lot of states where the capital isn't the largest city. In some states, it's not even the top 5. I don't know what's going on with that. That's weird. Okay. I'll zoom out on the map now. Whoops, we're zooming in. I want to reverse that. It's counterintuitive. Is it 25 miles? Let's get there. Alright, we are leveled off at 13,000 feet. 30.5. Now it's working. I don't know why I didn't do that. Now we'll lean down to 20. That's right about peak power. Right there. Gonna hop in the Phoenix A320 tonight. Been a while in that one. I've heard mixed things about that, but that might be more in relation to 2024. I've heard the plane itself is good if it can work properly in the sim, which I think in 20 it's fine. I think in 24 there's a lot of people that have a lot of trouble with it. So we're doing 196 over the ground. There's a very slight headwind. It's not bad. We're in pretty good shape, though. We're going to be going through some of these clouds. The temperature is 4 Celsius. Oh, -4. Oh, we may pick up a tiny bit of icing. We'll just pay attention to that. We might go through some of these clouds here. We'll try to avoid getting much icing. Any icing, if possible. Great thing about this plane, it is Fiki permitted. I call that sounds stupid. Flight into known icing is what that means. And it is permitted. In a lot of small planes, it's prohibited because you don't have de-icing to help with it. Of course, they do have limitations. There's another lake right there. That's pretty. A quick look out of the cockpit here. Let's see what we can see. These are some more lakes. I don't know which these are. They're a little bit smaller. But you can see kind of the way it is between the Finger Lakes is you have kind of hills and then farms and forests and stuff. It's a pretty area. A lot of vineyards. And a lot of people don't know that these lakes are actually really deep. I think Seneca Lake is over 1,000 feet deep. It wouldn't look it. And then Cayuga Lake, I believe, is... this is Seneca back here. That's Cayuga Lake. I believe Cayuga Lake gets to about 700 or 800 feet deep. And they're long, but they're very narrow. That's why they call them the Finger Lakes, is because they're long and narrow like fingers. You could probably figure that, but... Oh, look at the moon, too. You get a kind of nice half moon. And you know what sounds good? Because I'm a cookie pirate? A half moon cookie. Oh, man. In-flight snack. I love half moon cookies, though, actually. Now we're up to 204. Oh, wow, okay. Well, we're doing good. I am not seeing any icing so far. That is a good sign. I mean, these clouds look mostly thin. That one we go through right here, we might pick up a tiny bit. You love the little waffles they give? What ones? I'm not sure what you're referring to. So Syracuse, which is a pretty decent sized city, kind of right in the middle of the state, is going to be up here, but it's obscured right now by these clouds, so if we get past them we might get a good view. Tell you what, just as a precaution, de-icing on. It's still -4. That's actually a pretty prone temperature to pick up icing. You can see it. Yep. Yeah, it's starting to form just right a little bit there. We'll just hit the de-ice. That melts it almost instantly. I think once you get out of the clouds, it melts real fast. There's a little bit of thin, wispy stuff that we'll be going through. We can go ahead. I think we can shut that off now. This is why I thought we might maybe go to 15,000, but I don't think it's necessary. We're doing good on speed here at 13. We're gonna get some really pretty views here coming up. If you think it's pretty right now, just wait. It gets even better. It may resemble a little bit, actually, I don't know. I was gonna say it probably would resemble parts of Alaska a little bit, but because we're further south, this is a more temperate area, so you may have some of those kind of pine forests. They're not really boreal like Alaska, but I think we would see a lot of trees that would change color in the fall. Now I think it's a little bit early for the leaves to start changing color. But if you go up in about a month, the color up there, I think, would be, and really even over here as well, would likely be spectacular. Just absolutely gorgeous. Oh, those clouds get thicker over there. I'm glad we're not going through that. Will I ever think of doing airliner flights on stream? No, not really. I'm not opposed to it per se, but I don't know. Airlines, they're not really my thing. If I want to do a jet, I'll take like the citation longitude, I think this game has. I'm actually more familiar with the latitude. I like the latitude a fair deal more. But I've flown the longitude a couple times. It's a tough plane for me to get used to. Vralmik, what's going on? Welcome. Some leaves have already started changing here in southeastern Pennsylvania. Not extreme, but noticeable. Yeah, I would say give it a month or so. It's probably going to be absolutely gorgeous. Alright, I think we're getting a little bit of clearing up here. I don't think we're going to be able to see the city of Syracuse. It does look like the cloud cover's pretty thick through there. I checked the map. It says broken over Syracuse. Scattered at 4,000, broken at 8,000. Yeah, so you're probably not going to be able to see. But what we can see right here is Oneida Lake, which I believe is one of the biggest lakes. I don't think it's as deep. It's not quite as long as some of the Finger Lakes, but it is fairly wide in comparison. So, but the airport would be back over there. Yeah, there's no sea in that. Oh well. It's a city. We'll see. You see cities and stuff around here. Alright, we're not quite halfway there. Our halfway point is going to be right up about here, so just past RME, that's the Rome airport. I believe that's actually an airfield. An air base, I mean. When I lived in western North Carolina, now, it's further south, but you do have quite a bit of elevation. So the leaf season was late, like late October into even early November, at, like, in the valleys and stuff like that. Higher altitudes, you might have to go a couple weeks early, and peak was judged by elevation. So if you're at 2,000 to 3,000 feet, it's later. So you could go there and see just all green, or just the colors beginning to change. You could go up to 4,000 to 5,000, and they would be vibrant as could be. And then you could go up to 6,000 to 6,500, and the trees would already be past peak, almost losing their leaves. Am I feeling better? Yes, Rhett, thank you. A lot better today. Yeah, sorry I wasn't, sorry I didn't end up streaming yesterday. I'd thought about it and then I was just not feeling great. I was not up to it. I had other things I had to do as well. Unfortunately, back to work tomorrow, but I'll be returning to a relatively normal streaming schedule, I think. I am going to be doing Planet Coaster tonight. So, it won't be right after this flight. I might actually... Oh, fuel imbalance. Look at that. Forgot to switch the tanks. I do that occasionally. Clear. We can actually shut the boost pump off, too. That should clear in a moment. There we go. Clears. Pretty view up there. Now you... Yeah, okay, so you can. If you look way in the distance, you can start to see the beginning of the Adirondack Mountains. Absolutely beautiful area. Once we get up there, the views are going to be spectacular. The peaks are not all that high. Only about 4,000 to 5,000 feet compared to the ones in Alaska where they're regularly 7,000 to 10,000 to above that. But they're beautiful in their own right. This isn't Alaska. It's different. Also, I did download Flight Sim 24, and I have good news and bad news about it. I'm going to start with the bad news. It's a little less significant. So, with 24, I'm going to have to spend a lot of time going in and manually setting just about everything. Unlike 20, it was not really plug and play. I mean, yeah, you can load in and fly, but to get all of the buttons configured to how I have them in this is going to take a lot of time. Going through tweaking all of the graphics settings is going to take a lot of time. The assists out of the box, it's either just about everything or just about nothing. And I don't use assists for the most part. However, because of the limited control setup that I have, and also just for comfort purposes. For example, I have auto rudder on, so I don't have to hold. In single-engine planes, in the real world, you have to add a little bit of right rudder, or have a plane with rudder trim set. And I don't have that, so I've got to go configure all of that. That's going to take a lot of time. The good news is, from the little bit that I did experiment with it, it runs like a charm. As smooth as glass, it looks absolutely beautiful. I think it actually, I would go so far just from initial, keep in mind this is initial, I haven't really got to play around with it extensively, but I would go so far to say that based on what I've experienced, it runs better than this. It runs smoother than this, and it obviously looks better. So I'll spend some time kind of configuring everything, and we will do a Flight Sim 24 stream. We actually, while I have the trial period, I might start just, once I get that all set up, I'll just do all of my flights in 24. The downside with the trial is I only got the standard version, so this, the Cirrus SR22, is not included. I have to get the Premium Deluxe, I think, for that. However, we do have the Cub Crafter's X-Cub, one of my favorite planes, and we also get the Cirrus Vision Jet, which I'm stoked to try. We'll be doing some Cirrus Vision Jet flights. Should get a GoPro and record my flight training. Oh man, that would be cool. We're just passing over the Rome Airport, so we're not quite halfway, just shy of it. And it's saying about 25 minutes to go. Good news is it looks like the clouds are clearing up. Look way back in the distance. I think we can see it. Maybe just out there. I believe that's Lake Ontario. It's one of the 5 Great Lakes. And if you were to go over the lake, you'd be in Canada. Ontario. It's the name. If you were to go north from the Adirondacks, you'd be in Quebec. Montreal is not far. And then Quebec City. Let me pull the map up. Yeah, so we can just barely see out here the edge of this Lake Ontario. You go over it, this is all Canada, Ontario itself. Then you come up here. Ottawa, the boundary of the state and Canada is right here. And this is all right here, Montreal. I'm sorry, Quebec. Montreal is here. You go further up, and I believe... Quebec City's actually way far up. Further than I thought. Montreal is not. Yep, you can start to see the mountains become a little bit more prominent on the horizon. It looks like they actually start kind of right over here. Kind of the foothills of the Adirondacks. Yeah, look there. Let's go out of the cockpit. We'll see a little better, I think. So, yep, we just passed over Rome. I think we're right at the halfway point. This, I believe, is the city of Ithaca. Kinda, once you go past there, you start getting into the forests and the more kind of jagged hills, which really begin to, or become the Adirondacks. So here's a lake right here. I don't know what it is. I could look on the map and tell you. Oh no, it's a reservoir. The Hinckley Reservoir. Okay. I'm going to be looking off the left wing is going to be the places that I'm actually more familiar with. Once we get up this way, we won't be far off course from some really good views of some pretty lakes and some pretty mountains. Gonna do VFR patterns at MCI and the 172. Oh man, you're gonna get run over by all the airlines going in there. You know, the pandemic was not really a pleasant time for most people. I fared okay through it. I was very fortunate. I was blessed. Have a stable, secure job that lasted through it. In the world of aviation, I remember when everything was shut down, and I read some news articles. Some guy in a 172 flew at the big three New York City airports. So JFK, LaGuardia, and, well, Newark is in New Jersey, but it counts. And he got to go to all three of those airports in a Cessna 172 and do a touch and go with them. He said that was once in a lifetime, literally a once in a lifetime thing, because they would probably never let a small plane go into the airports like that again. So, yeah, that was pretty remarkable. That just stuck out to me. That reminded me of that when you mentioned the 172 at MCI. Alright, this is where it starts to really get out into the wilderness here. Beginning the foothills of the mountains. I know I turn the sensitivity on this down a little bit. And also maybe invert the look up and down. Just some fine tweaking on this. Alright. Now, unfortunately, we're not going to have a whole ton of time to look at rounds, because we will have to start descending. Somewhere over here begins kind of the heart of the Adirondacks with a town called Old Forge. I'm looking on the Sky Vector map. It's not that right there. Boonville. Okay, I see it. So, yeah, we're not quite to where I'm looking at. NK26, Old Forge. That's it. And you have a chain of lakes. You can actually kayak through these or canoe through them and stuff. Start at Old Forge, and then you have First Lake. This big one right here is Fourth Lake. Second and third are very small. And then you have Seventh Lake right here. I believe this tiny little lake right here is Fifth Lake. This is Sixth, I think. Seventh, and then this is Eighth Lake. Racket Lake. Blue Mountain Lake right here. Long Lake. It's very long and narrow. And then we're going to be going through a mountain pass. And right into Lake Placid. This is Lake Placid itself. This over here, I believe, is... Oh, these are split. This right here is Upper Saranac Lake. And up above here, I believe, is Lower Saranac Lake. So we probably won't see much of that since we're headed... Nope, I got it wrong. This is Lower Saranac. So we may get a bit of a view of that on the descent. And then Lake Placid, home of the 1980 Winter Olympics. That is where, I believe, the Miracle on Ice, where the U.S. hockey team beat the Soviet Union. If you're familiar with Al Michaels, do you believe in miracles? Yes. Somebody took a long time thinking up those names. Absolutely. Oh, man. I'm stoked that I picked this place today. It was down to Florida, Alaska, or here, and we ended up here. And I'm glad. It's a change of pace. Super beautiful. Alright, let's take a look here. We have 17 minutes to go. We don't have a long descent. We're actually pretty close to Old Forge. This is the town of Old Forge right here. There's actually a really cool water park that I've been to called Enchanted Forest and Water Safari. That's the Old Forge Airport right there. Now, where's the town? Yeah, this must be it right here. Where's the water park? That's what I'm... Maybe here? It's going to be tough to see since we're not going right over it, and we're up at 13,000 feet. But yeah, I believe this is first lake here. That's fourth lake, I believe. This right here is Racket Lake. So I grab a quick view out of the cockpit, because we actually do have time before we have to descend, since we're not high up. We're still about 18 minutes out. But yeah. So there's first lake. Half the time I don't even know where these all began. That's gotta be fourth lake. Fifth lake, sixth lake, seventh lake, eighth lake. Yeah, real creative. Racket Lake. This is Long Lake, I can tell by here, by how narrow and long it runs out. Blue Mountain Lake, I believe, is this one here. No. I think that's it. And then right here, I believe, is the Blue Mountain. And the peaks actually get higher when you come back here. But that is absolutely gorgeous. Look at the lines of mountains here. You've got, like, up in the front, then you've got each one, as you go further back, just becomes a slightly lighter blue and everything. That is spectacular. Alright. Back into the cockpit, let's get some stuff done. Lake Placid. The weather here. Variable at 4 knots. 10 miles visibility. Clear skies, I like that. 22 Celsius. 72 Fahrenheit. 30.30. Let's go ahead and set that on the altimeter here. Just up 0.02. How about another look down here? Very pretty. Gotta go clean up dinner. Safe landing. I'll look for you if you're on again later. Alright, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'll be on with PC2 later on. I may do another flight. I don't know. This one's gonna be tough to beat. I can see it here. We're actually going pretty much right over it. What a great view of Little Fifth Lake right there. That's like a pond in comparison to this. Ever so creatively named. You know what? I think this is First Lake back here. The question is, where do second and third begin? Because it looks like they all run together. I know this is fourth. That's fifth, that's sixth, this is seventh. This is, I think, the largest one. And that's gotta be eighth. As we mentioned, Racket Lake, Long Lake, we'll be flying right in line to that. And you can see these are pretty jagged. But there's enough flatlands where you have gentle slopes to the lakes. Definitely one of the most beautiful areas. Let's go back into the cockpit here. I think we're going to have to start descending. 13 minutes to go, so yeah, we're probably going to be... Alright, with the wind variable, I think we're going to come in this direction out here. We'll get a better view going up in that direction. But let's just see what our approach options are. Select approach. We have an RNAV to 14, or 1-4. And then we have visual to 1-4 and visual to 3-2. To fly over some of these lakes, if we go up over... This is lower Saranac. We could go... I'll tell you what, we'll go 1-4. That's fine. We'll take the visual. We'll set the fix to straight. Scroll down and load. We don't want to act... Oh, shoot. I cleared that out by mistake. Visual 1-4. Straight. Load. Clear that out. Let's zoom in on the map a bit. Yeah, it's going to have us loop around. What we're going to do is probably break off the approach course, and we'll start descending. I need to look at the terrain. It's actually relatively flat up that way, up into the Saranacs. The highest peaks are going to be just south of Lake Placid. So coming in, we'll have a view of the tallest mountains. So... Tell you what, let's actually set a course roughly to about something like that. What is that heading? 047. We'll set 050. We're gonna go ahead and turn the heading bug on. And let's set our altitude. I'm looking at the map. I don't have Sky Vector pulled up for you all right now. But we're pretty much flying over Long Lake in a moment here. And from there, if you follow straight up, it's pretty much flat. We're pointed up this way. We may have to contend with a few mountains, but I think right now it'll be safe to set this down to 4,000. Altitude mode is on. Now we're going to turn the VNAV off, and we're going to go vertical speed. So we're going to set it down to right about 1,000 feet per minute descent. And we're going to pull back on the power. Not quite idle. About 25%. Right about like that there. Oh, you're going straight over Long Lake. The cool thing about it is a few of these airports actually do have seaplane bases. 7th Lake, Eagle Nest, which is over by Blue Mountain. Long Lake itself, if you take a look out of the cockpit, the designated seaplane area is right here over this bridge. Beautiful, though. Look at this. So these are the highest peaks over here. They don't get quite as high over here, but they're pretty high. This right here, I believe, is Blue Mountain Lake. I believe this is Blue Mountain, the namesake of the lake. And if you look out over there, there's a longer, kind of thinner lake. I believe that's Indian Lake. I've actually been there. It's just really pretty. You get actually more prominent peaks over there. Sorry, back with setting up the 172. No worries. So we're just gonna fly slowly and descend over this. We do have this terrain over here. Highest peak is 4,300. If we follow the lake straight up, we actually will be going over that. So we're gonna go back into the cockpit. We're gonna hold the altitude at 5,000 instead, for now. This will be, that'll put us 700 feet above the mountain if we pass right over the top. This over here, I believe, is Tupper Lake. A lot of lakes, and if you're not super well familiar with all of it, it can be a little tough to navigate. But the good thing is a lot of these are very distinctly shaped, so it makes it relatively easy to figure out where you're over or what you're looking at if you can look at a map and just kind of pinpoint the shapes of the lakes. Oh, that is really pretty. Wow. I'm so glad I picked this place today. We could actually put a little bit of power back in. Equal speed. Right about 150 is fine. We'll leave it there. Not doing VFR, but IFR at MCI since the rain. Well, you can't do pattern work there. You could probably do practice approaches, I guess. Let me see the weather Kansas City is reporting. Oh yeah, it's minimum VFR. Yeah, 3 miles of visibility and broken at 1900. Still fun though. So this is the northern end of Long Lake. The main population center sits down here, kind of a little bit further south than halfway up the lake. But oh yes, this is beautiful over here. And yeah, you look out that way, it just kind of flattens. It's actually really flat out over that way. Like I said, the most prominent mountains are right over here. You go over that way, you'll eventually run into Lake Plattsburgh, I think. No, Lake Champlain. Plattsburgh's the name of the city. And then if you go across that, we're not going to see it as we're descending. But then you cross over that lake and you'd get into Vermont. Can we see it in the distance by chance? Is that possibly it right there? That could be, but I'm not sure. It's tough to tell. I don't know. We go back into the cockpit here. Yeah, we're about 7,500. Let's zoom in on the map some more. Oh, we've got plenty of clearance over all this terrain. Yeah, let's go down. 3,500. And you see the forests are different here. They're more deciduous. These would all change colors And I think you do have some pine trees a little bit higher up in the elevation. That is absolutely gorgeous. I would love to see this in the fall. I wish this had seasons. 24 does. So if we did this flight in 24 in about a month, it would be absolutely beautiful. I can just imagine. I can't wait to do Alaska flights in the Northern Lights once it starts getting later in the fall, when the days last a little bit shorter up there. Because right now in a lot of Alaska, it's still sunsets not until 9, 10, in some cases even 11 in the evening. But it's changing rapidly. Ooh. The highest peak in the Adirondacks and actually all of New York State is Mount Marcy. And I believe Mount Marcy is this peak right here. That's the highest point. You've got a couple others. This one here that's very close. This is 5,300 feet. This one's 5,100. Then you have one on the other side, it's 48. But most of these are in the 3s, low 4s. There's one up here. Yeah, that's 4,800, I think. Is it that one? No. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Okay. Back into the cockpit, and we're right at 5,200. So if you look off, we would be actually passing... Oh, it's blocked by this right here. We'll see it in a moment. We're actually descending below the highest peak right now. Let's look at our map for clearance. We are... Oh yeah, we're good. Yeah, we're plenty good. And you can see these are the two tallest peaks. Mount Marcy at 5,300. And then we have this red dot right here is... I don't see a name. That's the one that's at 5,100. And we have a few back on this side that are in the upper 4s. We're down at 4,500, so we have 1,000 feet to go. We're going to be flying, it looks like, pretty much right over... I don't know what one this is. This right here is Upper Saranac, I think. That right there could be Lower Saranac, but I'm honestly not sure. Oh, we need to watch that. So you see how high we are over this? We are barely, probably 500 feet above the terrain, which is the legal minimum since it's not a populated area. Honestly, that looks like it could have been a little bit less than 500. So we would... I thought we were going to clear that, so that's just a little bit of misnavigation. But ultimately, I mean, we're fine. Yeah, this is Upper Saranac, I think. Pull it up on the map. No. No, it's Lower Saranac. Okay. I see where we're at. Yes, this isn't taking us as far out as the RNAV approach. Oh, but we're set up good. Alright, let's get back into the cockpit. Now we're going to have to... we can clear that right there. We're leveled off. Airport elevation at Lake Placid is 1747. And we are probably a little bit high. So what we're going to do, let's zoom out just a little bit. We are clear of all of this. We can descend down to 3,000. And we'll pick up there on the approach. What we're going to do is pull the flight plan up. Scroll up. Oh, whoa. Ah, that's not working. Now we can activate approach. It's going to take us right there to the straight in fix right before final. Is this the town of Saranac Lake? I think it is. Okay. Got a good reference. And look at the speed we're bleeding off. That's actually really good. It's giving us plenty of time to maneuver to get set up on final. One last quick look out of the cockpit. Oh yeah. Look at that. Yeah, that's definitely the town. And that's Lower Saranac. Upper Saranac's got to be over here. Oh, that is super pretty. I'm like Placid over there. Alright. We need to turn the nav back on. And it's going to fly us direct to that fix. Let's do some final items here. Mixtures at the bottom of the green. We're good there, but we'll need to go full flaps. Or full rich on the mixture. Just a moment. Alright, let's go. Landing light on. We can turn the pitot heat off. It's 15 Celsius. Boost pump on. Mixture full rich. Set the altitude to descend. 1700. Approach mode on. It may not let us fly it. I don't know. We're coming in to pick up the course. Let's clear that. Oops. And we'll zoom way in on the map. Oh, we're going to have a little bit of terrain to contend with on this approach course. Oh. That's a music repeat. It is, we're flying through the course. Alright. We're going to have to do this by hand. And we're going to maintain our altitude because we're passing below. Less than 1,000 feet above, I should say. There's the runway. Oh, we're going to have to drop pretty steep up here. Let's just clear. We're 500 feet above. We're good. And let's change track a little bit here. And we'll get lined up on final.
Engaging autopilot.
No!
Engaging autopilot.
I accidentally bumped that. That button's super sensitive where it sits on my flight stick. And now we can cut the power. We can immediately go half flaps since we're below 150. Trim down a little bit here. And let's just check, recheck final items real quick. Landing light is on. Mixture's full rich. Boost pump is on. We are good. We are a little high, so we're going to cut the power out. And this is a beautiful view of Lake Placid. The city. That's a beautiful view of the lake itself. A couple nice little like cabins, a resort over there. Then the town, of course. Oh, that is absolutely gorgeous. Let's not lose sight of the runway. It's easy to get distracted by the beautiful views. Alright. Now we're coming in to pick up the approach course, but we need to slow below 110 to go full flaps. 108. We're good. Full flaps. Bleeding speed off pretty quickly here. We're on approach course. That looks good. We'll add a little bit of power in now. So about 20%. Now we're a little low, so we'll level off. Oh, that glide path does not line up with the visual indicator. Weird. We have 4 red, but the diamond's right in the middle. We're a bit slow. We do need to add some more power coming in. Oh, this is a narrow runway. Ooh, boy. Oh, Come down. Alright, let's take the power out. Easy. This is a narrow runway, holy cow. And nice and gentle, floating a little bit. Our speed is looking okay. Flare. Beautiful. Alright, there we are. Let's hit the brakes. Because we're going to have to make that turn. Otherwise, we have to go down to the end of the runway and turn all the way around and come back. I think. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Okay. Flaps up. And let's add a little bit of power. And to get to parking, we can actually just go straight ahead. We're going to be parking at those hangars right there. Oh, wow. That was absolutely gorgeous. Just look, you can see, look at those. I mean, you can see them out in the background. Alright, so they're having us park over here. So we're gonna go over this way and swing around. That's pretty coming back out this way too. Wow. Oh, come on. Quick kind of boost on the throttle there. Yep. Oh, so he's having us come straight. Slow down a little bit. There we go. Parking brake set. And time to shut down. Boost bump off. You can turn the landing light off. What? Strobe on. Come on. I clicked the wrong one. And then went to turn it back on and it clicked another one off. Wow. Alright. Let's go off on the avionics. All of that is good. Now we'll turn the alternators off. Cut the power. 54 minutes. Okay, so it took a tiny bit longer than we had expected. But not by much. Like 4 minutes. I think when I looked at it, it said a 50-minute flight. Yeah. Engine is stopped. We can turn these lights off. And last but not least, the battery switches. And the magnetos back to off. Listen to the birds. This is absolutely spectacular. Beautiful mountains, beautiful lakes. Just, this scenery is incredible. What an absolutely beautiful flight. I'm so glad I picked this place. And she just walked into the wingtip. It's like she started walking forward and then ran into the wingtip and just like walked in place and then just stopped. And she just walked through the wing. I want that magical ability. Oh man, I gotta love. I'm really curious to see how the vehicles and people and everything, how they all behave in Flight Sim 24. We'll be doing that soon. Definitely gonna be streaming some flights in that. Maybe do a comparison. We'll do 1 in 20, 1 in 24, and maybe do I'll try to put together some sort of a comparison. Something like that, I don't know. But alright, folks, this is where we're going to wrap it up. Thanks so much for flying. Welcome to beautiful Lake Placid in the Adirondacks in upstate northern New York. Hope you enjoyed the flight. I may do another one later. I might not. I'll definitely be doing Planet Coaster 2, and I think I've got something pretty cool planned for that, so definitely hope to catch you all there for that. As always, thanks for flying with me. Catch you again soon, and take care. Stay safe. We'll see ya.